Hello everyone and welcome to the second episode of Ave's Tour of Eorzea. Today we're going to take a look around Limsa Lominsa and I'm going to show you some places of interest as well as the location of the Aethernet shards. So a little bit about Limsa Lominsa before we get started. Limsa Lominsa is located on the island of Vilbrand and consists of two areas. So at the moment we're on the lower decks, but we will get to see the upper decks later on as part of this tour. Limsa Lominsa itself is home to the Rogues Guild, the Marauders Guild and the Arcanists Guild, as well as the Armourers Guild, the Blacksmith Guild and the Fishermen's Guild. It's also the location of the starting quest for Dancer. So getting started with the tour, if I actually turn right from the direction I'm looking at and go very slightly over here, we've got the Zephyr Gate. So this is the gate that you've got to go through if you want to go to Middle Lenosha. And then over here we've got the Lift Attendant. So speaking to this NPC here will give you the options of going to the airship landing or going to the upper decks, which would be where the Drowning Wench is located. Now, going across and out of the doors here, we can immediately see the main Aetherite crystal for Limsa Lominsa. I would highly recommend you attune to this Aetherite as soon as possible, because then you can teleport here from wherever you are. Now, going to the left of the Aetherite crystal, you can see here we've got an eager Lominsan. If you speak to him, you can pick up the starting quest for Dancer. Now, you do have to have a Disciple of War or a Disciple of Magic at level 60, and you do have to have the Shadowbringers expansion before you can pick up this quest. Now, continuing across the bridge here, there is a lot of walking in Limsa Lominsa. A lot of things are concentrated in certain areas, with a couple of things that are a little bit out of the way. So I do apologise for a little bit of walking in this particular tour. Up here is an entrance to the upper decks, but we're not going to go there at the moment. We're going to go down here. I'm going to pop sprint as well, because there's not a lot to see in this particular area except for ocean views, which on a nice sunny day like this are actually quite nice. But across the deck here and to the right, you've got the gatekeep to the entrance to the Rogues Guild. Now at level 30, Rogue turns into Ninja, so that's always a good thing to remember. And then continuing across the decking here, up ahead we see the ferry skipper. So speaking to the ferry skipper here, you can go to Eastern and Western Lenosha. You can also go to the Mist, and the Mist is the residential district for Limsa Lominsa. You do need to unlock the starting quest to access it though, and that is located in Lower Lenosha. Now, going across the deck here and up the stairs, we've got the Aethernet shard and the entrance to the Fishermen's Guild. And then we're going to go up and to the right here. Going to pop sprint because again it's a little bit of a walk with nothing but scenic ocean views. I promise we are getting to civilization soon. So here we have the plaza in between both of the market areas. We're going to take a left here. There's an Aethernet shard that you can tune to. And then going through this part of the market, so you've got market boards and summoning bells, which are standard in the markets across Eorzea. And this part of the markets tends to have the diemongers as well as ingredients and things like that. You've got the materia melder. for more market boards. But going out and down here to the right, you can see the entrance to the Arcanists Guild. Now, Arcanist is quite an interesting class to pick up because at level 30 it actually turns into 2 jobs. So it either turns into Summoner, which is a DPS job, or Scholar, which is a healer job, and they level up at the same rate. So if you decide to main Scholar, every time you level up, you'll also gain a level in Summoner, which it's quite interesting. Some people can get to level 80, which is the current level cap, and have a level 80 Scholar that they know inside and out, but have a level 80 Summoner that they know nothing about, which may or may not be me. Opposite the entrance to the Arcanist Guild, you've got the Aethernet shard for the guild itself. And then down here, you've got a ferry ticketer. And this ferry ticketer is actually quite interesting because he can sell you a ticket to Western Thanalan. And Thanalan is the area that Ulda is located in. Now, coming out onto the seafront here, if you have a fisher, you can talk to this NPC here every 2 hours, and go ocean fishing, which is a lovely way of levelling up your fisher. You can get loads of levels quite quickly. And then you've got a Scrip Exchange, which you can exchange gatherer's scripts for items, gear, etc. And you've got the Merchant and Mender. The Merchant will sell you some bait that's really useful for ocean fishing, and Mender does what it says on the tin. He'll mend your gear. Now going back up past the ferry ticketer, just going to pop sprint past the Arcanist Guild and up the path here. Again, we've got this part of the markets with all its little supplies, and then the plaza in between the two. Then going through here is the other part of the markets. Again, you've got market boards, but this is the area that you can get supplies, but more gear, weapons, and things like that. And I did mean to point out, actually, in the other side of the market is the Scrip Exchange. So if you've got a gatherer or a crafter, you can exchange. Thank you, random person. That's around them. That was lovely. That's one of the good things about Limsa. Limsa is quite populated. A lot of people hang around the Aetherite, and as you can see, you've got some generous players giving minions to new people. So that was completely unexpected. What was I saying? I was saying about the Scrip Exchange for gatherers and crafters. So through to the other part of the market, towards the end on the right, you've got the script and the collectible exchange and appraiser. You can talk to them to exchange scripts and items for scripts, and that will allow you to get specialised equipment and ingredients. So coming through the markets, and as you can see, a lot of people. Tend to find a lot of people here playing instruments, dancing. It's all good fun, really. But we're going to go to the left of the Aetherite Plaza and up into the upper decks. Now, entering the upper decks from here will deposit you straight at the Culinarian's Guild. You can enter it either by going over here and to the right, or up the stairs here, but here's the Aethernet shard for it as well. and there's the other entrance. If you go across the bridge here, just going to pop sprint again, and to the left, and through the Seventh Sage. There isn't a lot to say about the Seventh Sage. There's a herbalist here that sells a couple of ingredients, a couple of quests, but going through the double doors here, you can see the entrance to the Marauders Guild. At level 30, Marauder turns into Warrior, and here's the Aethernet shard for it. Then back across the bridge and through the Seventh Sage. Sprint is on cooldown, so unfortunately it's got me slowly running my way to the next point of interest. I mean, again, the ocean views are quite lovely here. So you've got that going for you when you're running from place to place. But we're just entering the Drowning Wench now, and this is the Adventurers Guild. So if you start in this particular area, Vaderon will give you most of your starting quests. You've got the Arms Mender and the Smith. The Smith will give you access to the Hall of the Novice. So if you're new to the game, I would highly recommend you speak to him. The Hall of the Novice is essentially a little bit of a tutorial. So it will give you some basic tasks to perform to get you used to the class that you've picked. So definitely talk to him. And then you've got the innkeep, and then you've got the lift attendant. So talking to him, again, will lead you to the airship landing, but it will also lead you to the lower decks. Then across the way here, you've got the leave me counter, so you can talk to him to pick up some quests that will help you get some experience for leveling. But there are two NPCs in the Drowning Wench that are very useful to talk to, and the first one, I'm not even going to try to pronounce their name, is this person here. Now, talking to this person and following this particular quest chain will unlock somebody called Jondelane. Now, Jondelane is essentially a hairdresser, a barber. He's got a fancy name, but for the life of me I can't pronounce it, so I'm not going to try. And this particular quest becomes available after you accept the Envoy quest. So whatever city you start in, you'll eventually, quite early on, get a quest that will allow you to go to the other city-states. When you've done that quest and picked up and finished the quest afterwards, this quest then unlocks. So you can talk to Jondelane at the Crystal Bell in any inn room, and you can also purchase a Crystal Bell to put in your apartment building, to put in your free company room, to put in your personal house. If you're a member of a free company, your free company might have one. And essentially, Jondelane will allow you to change your hair colour and hairstyle, and any face paint you're wearing and your lip colour. He won't allow you to change your race or your eye colour, so anything inherently genetic. You will need a Fantasia for that, and that can only be purchased from the Mog Station. The other NPC in this area who's useful to talk to is this person here. Again, not going to try and pronounce her name, but talking to this person will allow you to unlock the challenge log. So the challenge log is a weekly series of challenges, and they're quite little things. It might be do 3 dungeons, earn a certain amount of money from a retainer, that sort of thing, but they tend to give a monetary reward, so it's also a useful thing to have. Now, exiting the Drowning Wench through the door by the lift attendant, and going across the bridge here and going to the left, we've got the Aethernet shard for the Aftcastle. And then across the bridge here, we've got the Maelstrom command. So as the name suggests, they are home to the Maelstrom, and the Maelstrom is the Grand Company of Limsa Lominsa. At some point during Main Story Quest, you can join them as a member, but alternatively, you can join the Grand Companies of either Ulder or Gridania if you decide instead. There's no real difference between them, so it really is your choice. So going back across the bridge and to the left here and up the stairs, we've got the Aftcastle itself. So the Aftcastle is essentially a hub for events that are currently on. So we've got the Rising event at the moment, so it gets decorated up for that. Some events start in this area, but the Rising itself doesn't start here. You can talk to the attendant, but they'll only give you kind of an idea of what the event is. But this particular event actually starts in Ulder. But it's also, I mean, it's good to know that some events do start here. Now, to the right here, we have got the Armourers and the Blacksmith Guild. They are located in the same place, which can get very confusing. The starting person for them is actually a separate person. This one is the starting quest for the Blacksmiths class, and here's the one for the Armourers. I'm really hoping I said Armourer before. If not, it's Armourer. Speaking to either of these guys will prompt you to talk to this person up here. So just be careful if you're picking up both quests at the same time. You should get a menu to choose what quest you want to talk to the Guildmaster about, but sometimes it can get a little bit confusing. And then exiting the Blacksmith / the Armourers Guild, and going to the right, you've got the Calamity Salvager and the Recompense Officer. So as part of events, so as I've talked about the Rising, if I got gifted a piece of gear from the Rising event that I later discarded, I can then rebuy it from the Recompense Officer. And then similarly for the Calamity Salvager, if as part of a job or a class quest or main story quest, I get given a unique item and then accidentally discard it, I can then rebuy it from the Calamity Salvager for a small fee later on. And then you've got the Link Shell Distributor, the Arms Mender, and the Delivery Moogle. So if you order anything from the Mog Station or send anything to your friends, you can pick it up from here. And then finally, we have the Tempest Gate, and that leads out to Lower Lenosha. And then that is it for Limsa Lominsa. So hopefully you found that tour interesting, useful. If you've got any comments, please leave them in the comments of this video. And yeah, so hope you enjoy exploring Eorzea, and goodbye.